It's time for Sunday Night Football with the Colts and Vikings. Let's talk some football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back to talk the final game on Sunday, prime time Sunday Night Football between the Colts and the Vikings. Hopefully, we're having a great Sunday before this game starts. But quick reminder, we will have a video out Sunday night. Like always, we will recap Week 9, and we will preview and give our best bets for Monday Night Football, so be sure to check that out. But before we get started, of course, you guys all know about OUTLIER. Any graphics you see in this video are from an app called OUTLIER, the best player prop research tool on the market today. I would be using this whether I am partnered with them or not. It has been a huge help. You guys know all about it. Click that link below if you want a 7-day free trial. But let's get into it, and it starts with the NFL fun fact. And I don't know what day exactly this counts, if it was Friday or Saturday, but either way, as of this weekend, we are about 100 days away from crowning an NFL champion, and also about 100 days left of football season being over. It's like seeing your kids grow up. You got to just enjoy every minute of it. But in this video, we're going to be quick. We're going to be simple because there's nothing to recap here. That will be in the Monday Night Football video. But we're just going to preview and talk our two best bets. That's right. I got two half-unit plays for the Colts and the Vikings. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Help this channel, help this algorithm grow. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, as we are ever so close to 31,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely awesome. But let's get into it. And it's time for the Colts and Vikings. All right, we are heading out to Minnesota, where the Vikings host the Indianapolis Colts. Vikes minus 5.5. Total in this game is 46.5. Let's just talk the game real quick. Quick trend. Colts have covered the spread now in 6 straight games. In fact, talk about the best team in the league. 7-1 ATS this season for the Indianapolis Colts. 3 of their 4 losses have been by 3 or less points. Vikings defense, not quite as dominant lately. If you haven't watched them lately, they've now allowed 61 total points in the last 2 weeks, both losses. Injury report, it's not good for the Vikings. They lost their left tackle last week, Darrisaw. He's one of the best in the entire NFL. He is done for the year. It is going to be a huge loss for them. Sam Darnold was pressured from the blind side quite a bit against that Rams team once he went out. They traded for Cam Robinson, but from all reports, he wasn't very good in Jacksonville. I think he was benched even before this trade. And then linebacker Blake Cashman is also questionable. He is a big part of this defense as well. Colts getting healthier. How about getting DeForest Buckner back last week? It's going to be huge for him. This will be his second game. He's going to bring pressure up the middle and just going to make this D-line that much better. Jonathan Taylor made his return last week, went for 105 yards on the ground. But DN Quiddy Pay is questionable for the Colts. So one team's getting healthier and the other is going the opposite way. Joe Flacco, yes, my twin, will be the starting quarterback for the Colts this weekend. Obviously, a big upgrade. He is 2-1 so far as a starter for the Colts. So, two best bets. It's a game bet. It's a player prop. First, we start with the side. Give me the Indianapolis Colts plus 5.5 at minus 110. This was on FanDuel. So listen, guys, let's talk about this Vikes offense for a while. Now, the Vikings were so good to start the season. They absolutely were. They looked really good, but they've had some injuries and they're just not looking good lately. So I don't think people know how much this Vikings offense has actually kind of struggled the last 3 weeks. If you just take offensive points, they had a scoop and score for a touchdown. They had a pick 6 for a touchdown. We're taking that out because it has nothing to do with their offense. Their offensive points the last 3 weeks, 16, 23, and 20, averaging 19.66 points per game. You haven't seen the same explosiveness as you used to seeing from the run game, from the pass game, and some of that is protection right up there on the O-line like we talked about. I think Buckner being back, like I said, is going to be huge for this Indy pass rush, run stopping, all that kind of stuff. Minnesota is going to need to rely on Aaron Jones behind a banged-up O-line. Jones had only 58 yards on 19 carries versus the Rams for a 3.1 yards per carry average last weekend. Colts' run defense has not been great. Obviously, I do think Buckner helps, but as long as they just slow down Aaron Jones, I think they're going to be okay. But the big difference here is this Colts offense. They are so much better with Flacco. It's insane. He actually completes passes, which is wild. He has completed 22, 33, and 16 passes in his 3 games. Here's what Anthony Richardson has done. 10, 10, 10, 17, and 9. That is not even an NFL quarterback. That is absolutely horrendous. He was awful versus the blitz. The Vikings are going to bring the pressure as much as they possibly can. Joe Flacco knows how to beat it much more than Anthony Richardson, that's for sure. Now, I do understand it's going to be a little tough for Jonathan Taylor to find a lot of running room, but they do have a good offensive line, and I think he still will have a decent and okay game. He's not going to have some unbelievable game because the Vikings do limit the run pretty well. But I do think it will be enough to set up play action, set up different things for Joe Flacco. Because just having a healthier team, having Jonathan Taylor back with Joe Flacco, I think this team is going to respond with Flacco back there. I don't think anyone was happy with Anthony Richardson, but Flacco has the weapons on the outside. Pittman, Downs, and Pierce. One of them we will be talking about here in just a little bit. But overall, guys, this Vikings offense has just not been able to pull away from anybody. Like I said, they're averaging just under 20 points per game. When you have a huge 5.5 point spread, you got to take the points here. When you're facing an offense that just has not done much, and when their O line is struggling and battered and injured and all that stuff, it's going to be very hard. Obviously, I think the O line is the number one most important thing in an offense, and we'll see how it looks this weekend, but it could be ugly. Colts obviously 7-1 ATS. They keep every game close. They are unbelievable against the spread. Have an upgraded quarterback with Joe Flacco. The big man Buckner is back and healthy. Jonathan Taylor's back there. I see this being a field goal game either way, with the Colts having a chance to win it. Give me the Colts +5 as my first best bet. And now, second best bet. It's a player prop. One of those receivers. Give me Josh Downs over 62.5 receiving yards, -115 on Bet365. Another half unit play. Downs has got to be sleeping well and smiling, knowing that Joe Flacco is the quarterback here. And we're going to talk about it right now when we dive into Outlier and look out why. And there it is. If we look at 2024, guys, over in 4 of 6 games so far. Okay, so let's just take that 4 of 6. But let's remember how Anthony Richardson just flat out doesn't complete passes. So let's see how he's done with Joe Flacco at quarterback. It might be a little bit different. So you can go up there, games with player. You can search who you want. You go Joe Flacco. There it is. Hit apply. And there we are. We scroll down and we have over in 4 of 4 games. How about that? 82 plus yards in 2 of the 4 games, 109 yards last time with Joe Flacco. He loves to find him in the middle of the field. And what I also love to see is if we scroll down and look at the numbers, and we have receptions and targets clicked on right now, 9, 12, 9, and 9 targets. No less than 9 targets in any game with Joe Flacco, guys. This is his go-to guy when he is the quarterback. And now we look at the matchup over there on the right. Guys, it doesn't get much better than this. The Vikings are ranked 31st versus the wide receiver position. Only one team has given up more receiving yards to the wide receiver position. It's an absolute dream matchup. Now, the Vikings do have a good run defense like we talked about as well, but honestly, that's helpful here in this situation because that has allowed the opponents to have the most pass attempts versus them than any other team. That's right. They have given up a humongous 41.3 pass attempts per game this season to their opponents. The next closest is Baltimore at 3 less at 38.5. Joe Flacco's pass attempts line is 35.5, and yes, I do like his over 35.5 pass attempts. Honestly, it was a thought of mine for this second best bet, but he's just going to have to chuck it all over the field. And this is his go-to guy. It's a 4 for 4 hit rate right now, a ton of targets, which is what I like to see. It's not like he's getting 65 yards on only 4 catches or anything. He is going to see a lot of targets. This is one of the best matchups a wide receiver can have. I absolutely love this one. Give me Josh Downs over 62.5 receiving yards as my second best bet, along with the Colts +5.5. And that's what I got for Sunday Night Football. Now, before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. There it is, the Colts +5.5 for a half unit, and Josh Downs over 62.5 receiving yards for another half unit, and that's how we end Sunday of Week 9. Again, if you want some Monday Night Football preview and best bets and the recap for the entire Week 9, be sure to check out our video that comes out late Sunday night for that one as well. But thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.